a new video from probably Pretentious. Solo leveling is back in Sakamoto days looks ... We baiting with this one. We are baiting with this one. Sakamoto days looks good. It's not great. Not peak. Pretty good though.
Solo leveling is back and it looks interesting. The first episode of Sakamoto Days left me scratching my head wondering why fans were upset. The winter season of anime is now fully underway and I have a new One Piece update. Welcome back to another episode.
His voice sounds so different. He got a new mic. He's not using the clip-on attachment. No, he had a different setup before. The audio, it sounds better this way. The pitch of his voice sounds higher.
Of this month in anime. Yes, I'm still making these. Shut up. What?
I'm not on mute. I swear to God. I swear to fucking God. I'm on mute? Did you really just say that during the middle of a recording session, making me check my audio levels? Explain to me why I shouldn't time you out right now. Explain to me right now why I shouldn't do that. Sorry? Yeah, well, I'm sorry too.
Whatever you want to say, I don't want to hear it. Make sure to subscribe. They jumping me! They jumping me! Solo Leveling Season 2 is here and it's so much fun. The first couple of episodes featured an action-heavy mini-arc with quite a few anime-only additions and it was a perfect reminder of what this show is like. It set the mood perfectly. There wasn't anything earth-shattering about it. There isn't anything earth-shattering about the entirety of Solo Leveling.
Yeah, the story is extremely simple. There is no deep writing. There is no crazy, level of, I don't want to say crazy level of world building because I think they might get into that. But what I'm trying to say is this is not, an anime for, intellectuals. Very simple. But simple doesn't mean bad. Simple can be very hype. Demon Slayer is very simple. It's hype. The production value, the fight scenes. You see the excitement, you see the hype. Sometimes that's all you need to get that primal instinct of, entertainment from action.
But it was really entertaining. Plus, it gave us some additional lore tidbits here and there. It was fun. Look at him, he flash stepped. Listen to that soundtrack. Look, he slapped him across an entire area code. Tell me you aren't entertained. Look, he said the thing. What's that? You aren't entertained.
What did he say?
Code. Tell me you aren't entertained. Look, he said the
he said arise.
thing. What's that? You aren't entertained? You're lying. As a manhwa reader, I'm really looking forward to the rest of the season. If my memory serves me right, we'll get a bunch of major fights in the upcoming episodes by
Yeah, I hear the stuff that we've seen isn't even priority content. Episode 2, not priority just yet. The staff that worked on it, not even the best A1 Pictures has for this project. They're gonna cook with some extra stuff in the future. I don't know what's gonna happen. People are saying Jeju is not going to be included. There's not enough episodes, right? But some people are also saying it's included, and I got no clue.
Major, I mean large scale. Visually, things were interesting. Of course, the episodes looked good, I mean, look at them. But here's the thing, they didn't necessarily look perfect. Unlike the first half of the previous season, the action this time around was very large scale and ambitious right off the bat, mostly due to the nature of the story. Lots of moving parts, lots of shadows, all of them being hand animated, competitive choreography, you get the idea. Naturally, not everything was perfect. Not every drawing looked strong and not every bit of movement looked smooth. There wasn't anything bad about it.
Again, it's just I've only begun to open my third eye of being a anime enjoyer to understand production value at a higher level than I guess a monkey that just watches anime just brain turned off. I can't we are really splitting hairs here though. Were there these are obviously complaints and criticisms, but it's probably the difference between 100% good and 95% right. There's no way that these things are actually issues.
Of course, I am nitpicking, but it's...
Yes, of course he's nitpicking. He's just pointing out stuff, but it's just crazy to me that and maybe I have to go back to watch season 1, the first half, but there was everything was perfect in the first half compared to the first 2 episodes. There's something that off. It's really incredible the level of details these people, the Sakuga community, have in analyzing production value.
The small stuff here and there, the slight bits of jank, the small amounts of drawing inconsistency, that stuff. Just a slight lack of polish overall. I guess I shouldn't be surprised. I'm not sure how long this season has been in production for, but I don't think it's that long. Also, the second key animator army the second episode featured wasn't exactly reassuring. Like, look at that, those are MAPPA numbers. Still, like I said, the show looks good.
The more people on it, more evidence. Like, if you have more animation directors or just like more staff, that's not a good sign. It means that like they're really, really dying out of schedule, and they need more people just to all get in on board and try to fucking help out with the scraps.
The second episode in particular featured lots of action animation with varying degrees of execution. The highlight was this sequence animated by Hajime Nakagawa, a recurring name in this project. Nakagawa's
He's like the new talent, I think, right? That's like relatively new, already worked on crazy projects. Was he the one that was doing like the since you mentioned something about like the art design, the way that like everything was choreographed? I don't know.
animation is one of the most visually interesting things about this series, especially because his art style is usually left alone by the rest of the team. His art style,
That's the one, right? No one goes and fixes it. It's just so good already.
consisting of these block-like shapes and distinct shading, looks excellent. It's a stylistic departure from the rest of the show, and that's one of the reasons why it looks so eye-catching. Outside of the animation, the storyboards were decent, with grand staging and solid choreography, and the drawing quality was fine. A fun couple of episodes, looking forward to the rest of the season. Sakamoto Days.
And remember, just not like most recent episodes, not even like the best it has for us. It was amazing. It's probably one of the best I've seen so far. Season 1, I think, had apparently objectively season 1 had better moments, but like both episodes so far has been amazing. And that's not even the priority shit just yet. Just wait till they actually get serious. Wait until like the big dogs come back and work on this.
Is probably the most talked about show from this season is Hair, and it's quite good. The premise is goofy yet endearing, and the characters are interesting enough. The first episode simply established the premise. It brought all the pieces together. We are yet to see where the story goes from here on out. Naturally, I don't have much of an opinion on the show yet.
Yeah, the first episode, everything was from like the perspective of that blonde kid. I don't really like or dislike him. It's just like, all right, here's a coworker from the past that is sent to execute Sakamoto because he betrayed the group, quote unquote. And he's like a sidekick. That's pretty interesting that he's like an Esper. There's like supernatural powers here too. And Sakamoto really didn't say anything until the very end, where he said 800 yen per hour plus overtime or some shit. Sakamoto was just kind of aura farming the entire time, just being quiet. Has some great moments. The action was pretty hype. Animation, again, not the best I've seen, but plenty great that there should be no complaints about it. But as usual, you're gonna have people complain about everything, right? Just off of the first episode, even that Ari Kendo video, right? We compared the manga panels with the anime, and honestly, the anime I think outperformed the manga panels. Now, with each like chapter, the art's gonna improve and improve, and there's definitely gonna be moments where this is going to have to be like reassessed to see like does the animation actually compare or live up to the manga. But like based off of episode 1, there's really nothing to complain about.
The upcoming few episodes will decide whether or not I like it. That's all right. That's all there's worth talking about when it comes to Sakamoto Days. No controversy, no trending topics.
Yeah, sure, bro. 3 minutes 39 in when you got 11 minutes 33 seconds old video. We got more drama coming.
None of that. Fans online are behaving like normal people. They are enjoying the product without burdening it with outlandish expectations.
No sarcasm
Right?
here.
Of course not. Let's address the elephant in the room, the production value. And before we do, let me just say this. This entire Sakamoto Days animation discourse really brought out the worst of anime fans online. The sheer amount of slander this anime found itself on the receiving end of is ridiculous.
A lot of people were also apparently complaining about the opening visuals.
Never in my life have I seen a fan base be this dismissive of an anime before it even aired. I have seen fans lose their minds over nothing before, trust me I have, but this was a first for me. Fans made it seem like this show was a second coming of X-Arm, they were having none of it. So did it look bad? No. Did it
Is it that amazing, the manga? Like the fact that people had this high of an expectation really means that Sakamoto Days the manga is like really the next coming of Christ. It must have such a sweaty and hardcore community of people that had their expectations so high that they thought that their pet, their favorite show needs that like studio UFO table production. And there's like nothing wrong to like expect those things, right? There's nothing wrong to want your favorite manga to be adapted the best and perfect way possible. But when you see like when you're expecting 100 and you're given like 90 or maybe even like something above 90 and you're complaining, that's a bit of a that's pretty weird. If you were given like 75, if you were giving mid, if you got the animation of Nutmaster, bro, I would be with you guys with complaining and tweeting and complaining and just crashing out. Well, like Sakamoto Days is not Nutmaster. You know, it's pretty fucking good.
Did it look average? No. Did it look good? Yes. That's it. There's no punchline. It looked good. That's it. Plain and simple. At least the first episode did. The action wasn't static and the action storyboards were quite good. The fight moved and it moved in all the right places. I'll explain. The fight looked more animated than it actually was, thanks to the team's resourcefulness and clever utilization of their limited animation ability.
What did they do?
The copious amounts of wind effects that made the movement feel heavy or the strategic close-ups.
Yeah, the wind effect is actually something I way much prefer than the way that Blue Lock does it. You know how Blue Lock has like one still frame and the camera is like kind of like zooming and you have these like lines on the borders to kind of like give the impression that things are moving? That's really fucking bad. But the wind effects here are different because it's not just Sakamoto staying in place. He is still moving, but you have the wind effects that really adds more to it. So it's like being resourceful, working with what you got and trying to make more with less.
That made the movement feel heavy or the strategic close-ups. They were clever about it. I'll probably talk about this topic in detail at some point, so I won't say much. Aesthetically, this show is interesting. There are plenty of post-processing additions added to the animation. The shadows, for example, have strong textures added to them. The screen is busy, and I like it so far. I don't know if they'll mess up the compositing in the future, whether or not they'll overdo it with the effects, but for now it looks decent. Again, the show does not deserve the negative reception it got, but unfortunately, said negativity is here to stay. The first episode of a show is usually the strongest, so chances are the next few episodes will look weaker because that's how anime productions work. And
Fingers crossed,
I can
it's not that
practically see
case.
fans losing their minds over it. The next
Yeah, I mean, if the first episode was that good and people are upset, like imagine what they're gonna do with the future episodes. Solo Leveling had a different way though, right? Solo Leveling, like first episode was like the one that people are really mad about because nothing really happened and episode 2 popped off, but it's not as if Sakamoto Days first episode was like all just set up either, right? It actually had a pop-off moment, so fingers crossed that it's gonna do well moving forward.
few weeks will be an absolute shit show, I'm afraid. And those were the two big shows. What else can we talk about? Let's see.
Villainous Isekai Oji-san Villainous Oji-san.
Oh, Zenshu, the Studio Mappa produced isekai. Yes, it is in fact an isekai, much to the dismay of
A lot of people again, I only have the analytics for me, but I think that there is definitely like some sort of scaling coefficient that applies to everybody on YouTube. And I think Zenshu is kind of like letting a lot of people down. First episode captured a lot of people's attention because it's a Mappa isekai. They just want to see what's happening. And the second episode, no matter how good the production value is, it seems like the story is not enough to engage the audience, which is very interesting. It's not as if Solo Leveling has like a crazy story either, but I guess it's the overall like setting and style of these characters that some people can relate to. Can people just not relate to Natsuki Hirose or whatever her, the main character's name is, the female lead? I don't know. I thought that the show looks so good, right? We had the Itano Circus animation, which was apparently done by Itano himself. Yet, this shit is like performing so bad. Like, it's so sad that the fucking episode, the Mastering Magic anime, the one that's so fucking mid, is getting more views because of the whole degeneracy with slavery and how, he's getting excited about it. It blows my mind. Again, my YouTube numbers aren't like the full picture, but that's what's happening to me right now, and it truly is mind-boggling.
well, me. I was expecting it to be more like Shirobako and less like, I don't know, that time I got reincarnated as an XYZ. But hey,
A lot of people apparently are also upset that it's not like focused on production value. But I think even more people are excited that it's an isekai and not production value anime.
it's not all bad. While it's a shame that the show isn't what it was originally advertised as, it still is fun. The gimmick is that our reincarnated anime director can materialize whatever she animates, which, hey, I've seen a lot of isekai, but
Yeah, that is also a good point. That Solo Leveling actually had a huge fan base leading into it, right? Zenshu was the anime original that no one really knew about until recently, so there's definitely that at play. If we're going to be comparing like the quote-unquote like lackluster animation, story despite great animation.
that's a first. Over on the visual side of things, it looks decent. This sequence in particular looked spectacular. It was
They reuse it every time and I love it.
animated by Keisuke Toyoda, and given how ridiculously high quality it is, I think it's a bank sequence, meaning this exact scene will be reused multiple times.
Bank sequence. That's an actual term? Because in the actual episode, there was a comment. Animation. Bank sequence. I don't know. I guess it is. So the reason why it's so funny is because in the anime episode, Hirose was like about to redraw the same monster thing that she summoned before in episode 1. And like the guide, the navigator, whatever her powers guide is like, no, we're using stock footage. You can't use the same shit over again. And then immediately we replay the same fucking transformation scene that we call the bank sequence.
Across the show, I think it was sourced as a bank sequence on Sakugaboru as well. Also, they somehow brought Ichiro Itano in for the second episode. I have no idea how they did
circus.
that. Itano, for those of you who don't know, is a legendary name. He is the creator of the Itano Circus, which is that thing where a character flies around with a bunch of missiles chasing them. Itano will handle some of the storyboards, presumably for his own scene, and this is his first storyboarding gig in 10 years again. I have no idea how they got him.
First in 10 years. Bro made a comeback for Zenshu Isekai and it's not getting that. I wish it was doing way better, man.
The episode isn't out yet as of this recording, so future editing me, please let the people know if it was good.
It was great. Fantastic.
Besides all that, the production is apparently a mess behind the scenes because of course, it's a Studio Mappa production. Are you surprised? You shouldn't be. Although that's a can of worms I don't intend on opening in this video. Moving on, Tasokare Hotel is another highlight for me, which is surprising because I wasn't expecting much from it. If you've seen my seasonal watchlist video, if you haven't, do it.
This is like we're not checking that anime. It's like some sort of like place where it's like supernatural mystery kind of anime.
You'd know that I was quite dismissive of it, and it seems like I was wrong. Of course, the show has plenty of time to mess up, but so far, it's a slow-paced, intriguing story. It's like Alice in Borderlands if it was significantly less violent. On top of that, it's like
it's not a death match, but you play a series of games and you're trying to survive.
Second episode was quite emotional again, surprisingly so. You know, this season has been extremely promising so far. I'd be hard-pressed to find a single bad first episode.
I can tell you a lot of first bad episodes. Like, just the Mastering Magic anime. Boom, right over there, bro. What else? What else? The Great Alchemist was also pretty fucking bad for the first episode, but it's getting better now. I'm actually enjoying Great Alchemist more and more. Magic Maker was a nothing burger, right? Until like the very end, where the courtship of the fishes and then like the sibling incest ship, meme started to happen. So that was pretty fucking bad too. But then again, he's not watching those animes. It's just that we're just covering, we're in isekai land here. So Appraiser episode 1, yeah, it was Appraiser episode 1. I don't think was as bad as Mastering Magic or the other shows. At least we got to immediately get like we got to experience despair, and bro got cooked fucking twice, suffering. I heard that episode 2 that I aired like today, that we're gonna watch today, it's like even worse because bro just becomes OP out of nowhere. I don't know. Anyways, there's yeah. What was the other one? Headhunted was pretty good. I really enjoyed the male isekai. Basically, you have Amazon Prime, the bro was like 38 years old, immediately got laid from a guild receptionist. That was pretty good. Guild receptionist episode 1 was really good too. There was definitely a lot more better episodes 1s than, you know, bad episode 1s for sure.
That one isekai maybe, but besides that,
Yeah, he literally brought up, you know, the Great Alchemist. In the first episode, again, it was a nothing burger. But it's getting way better. In fact, I like this more than Nutmaster right now. I like this more than... And it's weird how Mastering Magic anime, the Ano Koji Isekai anime, I'm starting to like it more and more as we watch more episodes. Because, again, even if it's so fucking generic, the way that the author can execute, like, these... Like, for example, the most recent one where we humiliated the elder brother. That was some peak fan service. I love that episode. Like, yeah, there is no animation happening. But, like, the way that these stories scratches the itch for a lot of, like, things that I love in these kind of shows. Like, the peak humiliation of other people. Like, getting revenge or just, like, putting other people down when they deserve it. Like, those kind of elements are there. So I'm just like, all right, let's keep going.
Guy maybe, but besides that, every new show had something to offer. Here are a few quick shoutouts. Medalist, a standard but compelling sports anime, and it...
I heard that Studio Engi is not fucking up this anime. Studio Engi is the one that has a track record of just like rushing anime, right, and just doing a terrible job, but yeah, I heard that Medalist is doing pretty well.
It looks good. Momentary Lily, a fun and surprisingly dark
Crazy.
show. Looks like the entire production team overdosed on acid. So your typical Gohan's anime. Ever wondered?
Yep, that sounds like Gohan's, man. It's just like they just like blind our eyes with the level of details of the hair strands and the lens flare, and oh my god, it's like Gohan's. They definitely are trying way too hard, but I respect that they try to stand out. Maybe they're trying a bit too hard, right? They're really, really trying a little bit too hard to stand out, but hey, at least they're trying to innovate.
On acid, so your typical Gohan's anime. Ever wondered what ODM gear action would look like if the production team was on LSD? Here's your answer. That Guild Receptionist anime. A fun, goofy show with a visually stunning opening.
Yep.
Seriously, that opening looks gorgeous.
That opening reminded me of the Apothecary Diaries season 2 opening too. The visual, something about like the lighting. Something about like this lighting. I don't know how to call it. Is it compositing here then? Because it's considering the lighting here? I don't know. But Apothecary Diaries season 2 opening also reminded me of like this style.
Visually stunning opening. Seriously, that opening looks gorgeous. I still can't pronounce it. That show and
Ubelblatt. I actually did enjoy it. I love the setting of this show. People are calling it Warhammer-esque. Makes me want to get into Warhammer if it's like that. The whole concept of like monks and monasteries basically just like ruling over this place, this dark fantasy where a lot of people seems to be living in like medieval times, yet clearly like you got hovering like space aircraft technology. Like what's happening there? I want to know more. But I can't because no one watches it. I gotta drop this show. This is something that I may actually go read the manga for. I don't know if I want to keep waiting for the anime episodes. I might just want to get into the manga for this by myself.
An entertaining action anime. It's quite brutal, which is a nice change of pace. Although I hope it's more than look at les kill people. Before we move on to the next section, quick sidebar. Let's talk about Honey Lemon Soda.
I loved it. Honey Lemon Soda, again, another show where it just bombs so hard in my channel. I just don't have the shoujo audience. I'm glad that I have the josei audience to watch Villainous, but Honey Lemon Soda, I think first episode was so good. The themes of a girl that's not a damsel in distress that wants to actually move forward and change herself for the better as she receives, you know, some guidance from Kai, who's a bit aggressive in doing so, but I thought it was fantastic. Ain't nobody care.
For a second. I'm not watching it, I'll probably binge it at some point, but somehow the opening included a cut animated by Takeshi Honda, who, if you don't know, is a legendary name, like Studio Ghibli legendary. This is his first TV anime appearance in 6 years, and between him and Itano, what's going on? Even an animator who worked on the show was confused by Honda's appearance. Perhaps he really liked the source material, I don't know.
Yeah, just like a passion project. A legend just shows up out of nowhere for a random project because they just really love the story.
I'm really narrowcasting here, am I not? If you aren't an animation nerd like me, you probably don't give a f about any of it.
I'm actually trying to become like better educated in this topic though. as a reaction channel, like I feel like there's something compelling about someone that's trying to educate themselves to understand more about the anime beyond just like the story, right? Because like I've been definitely focusing more about like story, right? Looking at the story, trying to relate the themes in theorycraft. Never really opened my again third eye for production value until I started watching Sinchi and probably Pretentious. So like I think it's actually helpful. I think that it's actually like positive that I'm able to like expand upon my reacting commentary like arsenal by bringing in like, all right, I can talk about the story, I can talk about the themes, symbolism, blah blah blah, but what about the actual substance itself that we're watching on the screen, right? What about like the overall direction, the staff working on it, understanding like different types of animation skills and the people behind the projects and being able to relate, oh, this person's working on this person's worked on this before, therefore it's actually going to be really good and stuff like that.
I sunk your battleship, bitch!
One
What?
Piece update, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay.
I read a few chapters, or 2 arcs to be more specific. I
Okay.
read the Long Ring arc, that's what it's called according to the One Piece wiki. And
Amazing arc, bro. That's the Noto Beam arc. Long Ring, dude, that arc, the fucking, the games, the fucking, the games against, what's his name? Anyone? Foxy? The Foxy arc? With Afro Luffy? People hate on that arc so much. People hate that shit so much. I thought it was such a perfect, like, story arc, man. It was so fun, so unserious. I loved it.
I read the Water 7 arc. The former was fine. It was
Yeah.
mainly a light-hearted buffer between
Exactly, right? It's the calm before the storm. Water 7 still goes down to be like my favorite saga of One Piece. Oh, that's Marineford is crazy too. It's actually crazy. Like what happens, like Water 7 shit. The island where we meet Brook was alright, but like goddamn, what happens like after those events of pre-time skip is fucking crazy.
2 major arcs, and it did its job. I did like Aokiji. He made his first appearance
Scary.
near the end. It
Terrifying guy, right? Aokiji pulls up on a bike and it's like, how is he doing this? Yeah, he rides across the ocean with this like ice fruit. And he's here to get like Robin or something, and you're kind of on guard because oh my god, it's an admiral. And you think it's gonna be fine. And then he gets serious and it's just like, holy shit. That's when like despair happens. That's when it's just like, oh, this is an admiral. The power stealing, that's when you realize like you cannot fuck around with an admiral.
is his first appearance, right? It has been a while since I read Skypiea, so I don't remember every last detail. Now, I won't pretend like I don't know who he is. I have heard of his name before, but thankfully I know nothing about him, meaning I haven't been spoiled on that front. Gear 5 though, I know all about it.
Imagine, I haven't finished Wano, no. Imagine, did I even start Wano? I don't even know. Imagine, bro, being a modern One Piece fan, watching from the beginning, and you haven't even gotten to fucking Gear 2. Like Gear 2 is it's like a Super Saiyan moment, man. That's when like One Piece truly goes to that next gear, no pun intended, of power rankings, power systems. And bro already knows about Gear 5 because again, it's so hard not to be spoiled when you're this like behind. Hello?
Water 7 was a lot better. I loved the general atmosphere, just the overall feel of the city, it was great. I do think the arc has one major issue, that being
What?
the fact that there was way too much going on all at the same time. Too many story beats and threads all transpiring at the same time. You had the thing with Usopp, the Frankies, the Robin thing. It was a lot. Yes, a lot of those threads came
Come together.
near the end, but still it was very hard to get invested early on. Also, I'm still getting used to the overall tone of the manga. The goofy, silly moments, especially those that occur during serious scenes, do come off as a bit jarring to me. But I guess that's just what this manga is like. It's shonen to the core, if that makes sense. Water 7, of course, leads directly to the next major arc, which I'll read soon, hopefully. And that
What was that arc? Again, after Water 7, it's immediately into the Brook arc. I forgot the I forget the name. It's actually the best part about that arc is the ending. I'm sorry, bro. I'm of that mindset. Maybe I would change my mind. Thriller Bark. Thriller Bark? Bro, I can't take Gekko Moria seriously. I don't give a fuck about like you're coming off of Water 7 and like the threats that exist in Thriller Bark are so unserious. It's goofy. I don't take Moria seriously, bro. They're just a bunch of clowns. Now, Nightmare Luffy mode was sick. Absolutely right. And I think the best part about Thriller Bark is what happens at the very end with Kuma showing up, right? Oh my god. Zoro's moment there too. Jesus fucking Christ. Crazy. But after Thriller Bark, right? You get the Sabori like the Archipelago arc whatever, right? And then you get the whole and then after that, leading up to Marineford, everything is just fucking peak. Everything, like the more I think about pre-time skip, the more I realize that maybe pre-time skip's better than post-time skip, bro. I don't know. Anyways, that's it. I'm just relishing in the old nostalgia of One Piece that I used to watch long time ago. It's been years since I've really watched anything One Piece related, so it's nice to just live in nostalgia land for a bit. Anyways, here's the video. Please go check out Probably Pretentious. Here's the link. Give it a like. Sub to the channel if you want. I'll see you guys next time.